C'est quoi cette trend? What's that?
Bonjour tout le monde, I'm Cassie, your first tutor so you can discover France the French way. And now is the perfect time to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to discover more about French culture. This I don't wanna be French trend or thing is deeply rooted in stereotypes and clichés. So first, I want to discuss with you a few clichés about French people.
When I was back in France, I would shower maybe once a month. That's quite normal there, but when I moved to the UK, I saw that people showered way more often. So now I shower maybe once a week, only if I've had like a big day or if I've worked out. Like otherwise, no. I mean, why were perfumes invented, right?
One of the weirdest clichés I've heard about French people was that we stink or we don't take showers. I actually had that question asked several times, like, oh, do you take showers in France? Yeah, of course we do. Come on. Every day, depending on people, I guess not everybody showers every day. But yeah, bien sûr qu'on se douche. I don't understand. And my understanding is that it comes from the fact that we invented perfume. But also, I think in Italy, in the Renaissance, they use a lot of perfume even. Maybe they invented it and not us. To be fair, I'm not sure about it, but I've never heard that cliché about Italian people. So I'm a bit confused about it. I think there is a bit of a backlash here.
Okay, you see that here? Huh? C'est une douche. A shower. So we do shower. It's okay.
I can sniff a French person from a distance, and not because they don't shower, just because they are so easy to recognize, let alone their accent. I always put them on the spot. I'm like, ah, t'es français? And they're like, oh, mais je savais pas que mon accent était si évident.
Another one also surprised me is that we surrender quite easily. I've heard jokes. Well, the jokes I've heard were in Germany, so I don't know what it says, historically speaking. But yeah, that we surrender a lot, that, you know, we wave the white flag faster than our own, things like that. This is something I don't really understand because, well, French history is not really about surrendering. It's about going to war, trying to expand the territories. I'm not saying it's good, but the French Empire had quite a few colonies. It really disrupted quite a few cultures and countries. So saying that we surrender, I don't really understand. And if I remember well, out of all the countries in Europe, not that we should be proud of that, but we had the most victories. You know, France and Great Britain were like that because we fought against each other a lot, I guess. So I don't understand this one.
Yo no soy envidia, soy tu bizcochito, pero tengo todo lo que tiene delito. Que me pongan nena, soy que me derrito.
Another cliche I hear a lot is about what we eat, and mostly frogs. Let me tell you, the only time I ate myself frogs before becoming a vegetarian. The only time I ate frogs was in a Chinese restaurant. So for this one, I digged a little bit. I did a bit of research for you, just for you. And apparently, it is true that around Bordeaux or Lyon, people eat a bit more frogs or frog legs with parsley, donc du persil, and garlic, de l'ail.
We're trying frogs for the first time and we heard that it tastes similar to chicken, so what better way to try this out but in Paris? To start, we got a fried frog dish which came with different sauces, one cooked in a parsley butter, and even a Caesar salad topped with fried frogs, which is pretty elite. I will admit I am kind of scared of frogs though, like if one jumped on me, I'd cry. But these were super delicious. It does taste a bit like chicken, but slightly gamier, but nothing weird at all, so I'd definitely have it again.
But where I'm from, or my family's from, and we cover quite a few regions like Paris, Brittany, even the south of France, like near Montpellier, we don't do that. We eat snails, that is true, it's good, and I created the recipe where I switch snails with mushroom, and it's just as good without the meat anyway. But yeah, frog legs, I don't understand. So it's really from distinct regions. but not everywhere, not all French people.
So I've been in the UK for 10 years and people keep asking me one big question. It's like, do you French people actually eat frog legs and snails? And the answer is no. Well, I did my research and the thing is like, French people actually eat 4,000 tons of frog legs a year. It's enormous. But the thing is, they're really hard to find. Usually they're on the menu in some French gourmet restaurant in Paris and the countryside. So if you have the chance to see it, I recommend you try them because they taste amazing.
Lazy and always on strike.
The French are the only people who know how to protest properly. They're angry at the government for not cleaning the Seine, so they're threatening to poo in it. Because the French understand that the best way to negotiate is to show your opponent you're crazy. In other countries, protesters say, let's make a sign and do a little chant. In France, they're like, first we in the river, next we in the fountain. That is the smell of democracy. Plan B, we bring back the guillotine. Simplement.
Lazy? No. Come on. I think it's because the legal working time is 35 hours per week, which is lower than in other regions of the world, other countries, okay? In the Netherlands, for example, it is 40 hours a week. So I understand it can be a bit weird, but it's just that we take longer breaks, I guess. For example, in the Netherlands, I could only eat for like 30 minutes and then the break was done. Whereas in France, it's not uncommon to take a bit of time. You know, you enjoy your meal, you enjoy your time with your coworkers, or maybe you can go out for the lunch break, things like that. So it's just the break is longer, but we actually have the highest efficiency rate in all Europe. It's not that bad. And for strikes, yes, we do love to fight for what we believe in and our rights, and going on strike is one of the most efficient way we have. And also, if you think French people are lazy because shops tend to close between, well, noon and 2 p.m. for the lunch break, yeah, it's another thing we fought for, like rights, to be treated like human beings and not just workers. And the last one, I'm pretty sure you expected this one, arrogant and/or rude.
Bro, I swear, French people are the least polite people I've ever met in my life. This is a real conversation that I'll have with a French person on a daily basis. Hey, mon gars, ça va? Et toi? When you say ça va to a French person, they don't respond. They just say, and you? Like, tell me, like, how are you doing? I want to know how you're doing. They don't care. They're like, and you? Let's get the conversation over with. What? Why do y'all do that? Why do y'all do that?
If you follow this channel, I'm pretty sure you know what I think of it. Rude, I wouldn't say so. We're very straightforward. We don't sugarcoat anything. We're really to the point. We don't really understand like, oh, hey, how are you, blah, blah. If you don't want to know how I'm actually doing, just don't ask. So, of course, saying that can be rude, but we don't mean it that way, I swear. And for all the tourists who go to restaurants, shops, all that, without saying bonjour, to us, it kind of means that you're treating the employees like lower than human beings, which is not nice. So you can imagine that the response won't be great. So what do I think of this trend? Because it is the original question. I'm absolutely sure it is rooted in these stereotypes, but I really don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it. And to be fair, I discovered how much other people hated the French, and I don't understand why. Especially because, for example, about Italians, about Spanish people, French people tend to love these cultures and these people and these countries. But the response from French people wasn't great either. Going like, oh, but we have social security. Saying that to Americans, fair enough. Even though I think they don't need us to make fun of them right now. If you're American, I think the situation is bad enough as it is right now. So let's not make fun of you guys. I'm really not happy with that. And for other European countries, like, we just love you guys. So what's going on? But again, the response like, oh, but we are the greatest. Like, come on, we don't want to seem arrogant. Just don't act like a douche, please. So not great, and it doesn't show the best of us either. So were you aware of that trend? You tell me in the comments. I really want to know. And tell me one of the cliches about your home country. I'm really curious because I know a lot about cliches on French people, but what about you and your home country? And if after all that you want to travel to France, I recommend you work on a bit of extra vocabulary with this video next. Donc à la semaine prochaine. Salut!